Have you ever found yourself second-guessing a man's intentions, wondering if that magnetic energy you feel is just in your head, or if he's feeling it too? You're not alone. In a world full of mixed signals, body language that can say too much or not enough, and words that often fall short of true desire, it can be hard to know when a man is genuinely, deeply sexually attracted to you. When a man is sexually attracted to you, one of the first places you'll notice it is in his eyes. There's a difference between someone who looks at you and someone who sees you. His gaze won't be casual or polite. It will linger, hold, sometimes flicker in places that reveal more than he might want to admit. It may not always be overtly obvious because some men are more controlled in their expression, but if you pay close attention, you'll notice the way his eyes follow you even when there's no reason to. He might pretend to look away when you catch him, but in those few seconds before, there was a different kind of attention, one that's charged with physical desire. His gaze becomes magnetic. He isn't just making eye contact out of courtesy or conversation etiquette. He's connecting with you on a primal level. In crowded rooms, his focus might narrow just to you. When you speak, his eyes search your face, not just listening to your words, but reading the micro-expressions you make. He's observing your lips when you talk, your collarbone when you laugh, your neck when you tilt your head. These aren't signs of mere politeness. These are signs of focused physical intrigue. There's a heat behind his look, even if he's trying to be subtle. Sometimes it's not even about the duration of eye contact, but the intensity. There's something in the way he studies you, like he's curious and captivated all at once. He may quickly scan your body, then meet your eyes, as if to measure your reaction. He might catch him checking you out when he thinks you're not paying attention, and he'll either hold that moment, let it stretch, or quickly divert his gaze as if he knows he's been caught in something he shouldn't have done. The eyes are windows to what someone is feeling, and when a man feels sexual attraction, he will often give himself away with the hunger in his look. He might not say anything explicitly, but the way he looks at you says everything. Sometimes his pupils dilate slightly when he's with you, a biological response to arousal. He might not even realize it, but his body reacts before his mind catches up. Even when he's in a group, talking to others, laughing, being social, his eyes will wander back to you. That return glance is telling. It's not just because you're in the room, but because he's mentally drawn to you. He's checking in with you, reconnecting with the energy, making sure you haven't escaped his orbit. And if you catch that glance, if he holds it even for just a moment longer than usual, you'll feel that connection jolt between you. This kind of look isn't easily faked. It's different from admiration or friendship. It carries weight, tension, and intention. His eyes become storytellers of his desire, narrating something he hasn't yet put into words. When a man is sexually attracted to you, one of the most instinctive ways he expresses it is through touch. Often subtle, sometimes accidental, but never without meaning. Physical contact becomes his unspoken way of bridging the gap between you, closing the space that feels too far when desire is involved. He'll find reasons to touch you even when there's no real reason to do so. Maybe it's brushing a hair from your face, guiding you gently by the lower back through a doorway, or resting his hand on your shoulder during a moment of shared laughter. These touches, though brief, are intentional. They are testing boundaries, creating intimacy, and feeding a growing physical tension. It's not always the frequency of touch that matters, it's the quality. There's a kind of softness, a slowness to the way he touches that doesn't scream platonic. It's different from the casual bump of a friend or the neutral handshake of a colleague. His touch lingers just a moment longer than necessary, as if he's trying to hold on to the contact, to feel more, even if only for an extra second. If you lean in, he leans in a little closer. If you shift your body toward him, he doesn't back away. His body welcomes yours, even in those seemingly minor interactions. You might notice that he initiates physical proximity more often than others. He'll choose the seat beside you instead of across from you. When you're walking together, he'll position himself close enough that your hands occasionally graze. When he laughs, he might playfully nudge you. During a conversation, he might rest his hand on your knee or arm while making a point. These little touches are charged not in a way that's overtly sexual, but in a way that signals deeper attraction beneath the surface. Even in more public or professional settings where overt intimacy would feel out of place, he may still find small opportunities for physical connection. A handshake that includes a second hand wrapping around yours, a congratulatory pat on the back that becomes a slow rub on the shoulder, a touch on the lower arm while talking, even when it's not required by the situation. These gestures reveal a desire to be physically close to you, to feel a sense of connection that isn't just emotional or conversational. When a man desires you sexually, his body naturally moves toward yours. He doesn't pull away when your arms touch. He doesn't flinch when your legs brush under the table. In fact, he subtly leans in, invites more of that connection. And sometimes he doesn't even realize he's doing it. It's an instinctual response. His attraction manifesting in real time through his body language. If you pull away slightly, you'll see if he leans back in. That's the real indicator. He wants the connection. He welcomes the contact. And he's drawn to your presence in a way that is undeniably physical. When a man is sexually attracted to you, his voice starts to shift in ways that aren't always conscious. One of the most telling signs is how his tone lowers when he's around you, especially when the two of you are alone. That deeper, slower voice isn't just a coincidence, it's a primal signal. A man's voice often deepens naturally when he wants to appear more masculine, confident, and grounding. It's biology at play. The moment he feels that physical draw toward you, his vocal cords respond with a subtle drop, a kind of auditory seduction that you can feel as much as you can hear. You may notice that he talks differently when speaking to others compared to how he speaks to you. In group settings, his energy might be more upbeat or animated, but when the conversation turns one-on-one, his pace slows, his tone softens and deepens, he becomes more deliberate, more present. It's like he's tuning the world out and dialing into you. That vocal change is his body unconsciously trying to signal attraction, dominance and closeness, all at the same time. There's often an intimacy in how he frames his words. He may drop his volume just slightly, forcing you to lean in to hear. This creates a private bubble, even in a public space. It's no accident. That quiet tone invites you into his space, makes you feel like you're sharing something more private, more exclusive. It pulls you into his energy, making the interaction feel personal and emotionally charged. You feel it not just in your ears, but in your chest and stomach. It's the kind of voice that creates a physical reaction. His choice of words may also reflect a deeper connection. He starts using more personal language, more emotionally engaging words, and his speech takes on a subtle warmth that wasn't there before. He's no longer just exchanging information. He's creating a moment, a mood. And that mood is wrapped in the soft, confident energy of a man who's deeply aware of the woman in front of him. He may pause more when he speaks to you, letting the silence do part of the talking. Those pauses, filled with eye contact and slow breaths, become moments of quiet intensity that hint at what is feeling underneath. Sometimes it's in the way he says your name, with repetition, with a slightly lower pitch, with a softness that doesn't appear when he says anyone else's. It becomes a word he enjoys saying, savoring. He wants your attention, yes, but more than that, he wants connection. His voice becomes a tool for seduction, intentional or not. This shift doesn't require a romantic setting. Even in everyday conversations, a man who's sexually drawn to you will instinctively adjust his vocal presence. It's the energy behind the words that changes. The calm confidence, the gentler rhythm, the sense that he's not rushing but instead anchoring himself in the moment with you. This vocal transformation reveals more than words ever could. When a man is sexually attracted to you, one of the clearest and most primal signs appears in his body language, particularly through something called mirroring. This is when he unconsciously begins to reflect your movements, gestures, posture, or even your energy. It's not a deliberate act, but rather a deep-seated instinct. His body starts to align with yours as a way of creating connection. He leans in when you lean in. He shifts when you shift. He picks up his drink right after you do. These may seem like small, irrelevant behaviors, but in psychology, mirroring is a well-known indicator of rapport, interest, and desire. When attraction is involved, it becomes even more intense and more frequent. This unconscious mimicry is rooted in the brain's mirror neurons, which fire when we observe someone we feel connected to. When he mirrors you, he's not just watching you, he's feeling you. His mind and body are attempting to synchronize with yours, as if to say, we're on the same wavelength. And when it's sexual attraction, that synchronization carries an extra layer of tension. You'll notice the way his body starts to subtly mold itself to yours in shared space. If you're sitting cross-legged, he might do the same without realizing. If you tilt your head, so does he. These aren't tricks or games. These are raw indicators of deep attention and magnetism. What's especially telling is how his posture evolves around you. A man who's drawn to you physically will begin to open up his stance. His body turns toward you, even if the conversation involves others. His feet, knees, or chest will often be pointed in your direction. This is a subconscious way of positioning himself closer, creating openness and signaling invitation. Closed-off body language shifts into a more relaxed, exposed posture. His arms aren't folded, his shoulders are relaxed, and there's a comfort that seems to appear specifically when you're near. Another important clue is the way he responds to your emotional state. If you smile, he smiles. If you lean forward in excitement, he mirrors that enthusiasm. When you seem quiet or reflective, he softens his energy to match. This kind of attunement isn't something we do for just anyone. It's something we do when we want to build closeness, especially when physical chemistry is involved. It's as if his entire body is trying to communicate something his words haven't yet said. He wants you to feel that he's in sync with you, not just emotionally, but energetically and physically as well. In moments of silence, his mirroring becomes even more obvious. If you shift your weight from one leg to the other, he soon does the same. If you rest your hand on your chin, he mimics it a few seconds later. It's subtle, but once you become aware of it, you'll start to notice how often it happens. This synchronization isn't forced or rehearsed. It's a natural rhythm that two people fall into when one is magnetically drawn to the other. When a man is sexually attracted to you, his flirtation carries an edge that feels different from ordinary charm or light teasing. It's not just about making you laugh or catching your attention. It's about creating a subtle tension, a playful back and forth that's charged with desire underneath. You'll notice the way he teases you has a kind of intentional push-pull energy. He might playfully challenge you, mock you in a light-hearted way, or find clever ways to get a reaction out of you, but it's never cruel or dismissive. His teasing is designed to keep you engaged, to make you feel something, and to build anticipation between you. There's an intensity behind his playfulness. His comments might be cheeky, suggestive, or even a little provocative. He walks that fine line between appropriate and bold, testing how far he can go, watching your reactions closely, learning what makes you blush, smile, or respond with playful defiance. The goal isn't just to amuse, it's to spark chemistry. This is a form of flirtation that isn't innocent or purely friendly. It's layered with unspoken suggestion, with little hints that his interest goes far beyond emotional connection. He'll also create inside jokes quickly, forming small shared moments that feel private between the two of you. These become recurring references he returns to, not just because they're funny, but because they create a sense of intimacy. He wants to establish something unique with you, a rhythm and language that no one else shares. When a man wants you sexually, these inside jokes often carry double meanings. Playful innuendo, or just enough ambiguity to keep you wondering if he's being serious. His facial expressions during these moments say just as much as his words. He might raise an eyebrow when you say something bold, smirk when you catch on to his joke, or lock eyes with you during the teasing to amplify the effect. Eye contact becomes longer, more loaded, smiles become slower, more confident. It's as if he's using the banter to get you closer, not just emotionally, but physically and psychologically. He wants to see if the spark is mutual, if you'll meet him in that dance of tension and release. Flirtation becomes his way of touching you without touching. Every joke, every tease, every exaggerated compliment becomes a way of drawing near to you, mentally and emotionally at first, but always with the undertone of something more physical. He might compliment you in ways that feel layered, telling you that you're dangerous or trouble, or calling you out for being too tempting. These aren't neutral words, they're loaded. He's not talking to you like a friend, he's playing with fire, testing how close he can get to the heat. The teasing also becomes a way for him to gauge your comfort with him. How you respond tells him everything. If you tease back, flirt in return, or play along with confidence, he registers it as a green light. His attraction will build from there, becoming bolder, more suggestive, and more emotionally invested as he senses your openness to that energy. When a man is sexually attracted to you, one of the more instinctual and revealing behaviors he exhibits is a sense of protectiveness and territorial energy, especially when other men are present. This reaction isn't always loud or dramatic. Often it's subtle, showing up in glances, shifts in body language, and changes in tone. But underneath it all is a primal signal. He sees you as someone special, someone he wants to claim in some way, even if he hasn't said so out loud. His attraction starts to activate a part of him that wants to shield you, look out for you, and make it known, if only quietly, that he sees you as his. You might notice that his mood shifts slightly when another guy enters the scene. He may suddenly become more attentive, more animated, or even more assertive. He doesn't want to lose your focus. He starts to engage more, drawing your attention back toward him, not in an obvious way, but through small adjustments, like positioning his body closer to yours, asking you more questions, or joining the conversation in a way that subtly competes with the new male presence. This isn't insecurity, it's instinct. A man who is physically and emotionally drawn to you will feel the presence of other potential threats, even if he masks it under casual behavior. His body language often speaks volumes in these moments. He might step in closer to you, touch your arm more often, or stand between you and someone else. These small acts are about presence. He's marking space, whether consciously or not. It's a quiet way of saying, I'm here and I'm connected to her. He doesn't want another man stepping into that dynamic too comfortably. It's not about dominance in a negative sense. It's about signaling his investment, his interest, and his desire to remain close. Sometimes he'll show his protectiveness more emotionally. If someone says something offhand that might be perceived as disrespectful, you'll see him bristle, speak up, or subtly redirect the conversation. He becomes attuned to your comfort. If you seem uneasy or overwhelmed, he checks in. He wants to be the one you feel safe with, the one who stands between you and discomfort. Sexual attraction isn't just about fantasy, it's about a pull toward closeness and care, and his instincts will drive him to protect what he desires. In social settings, he might keep an eye on who you're talking to, even while pretending to stay casual. He notices when another man compliments you, and his reaction, whether it's a shift in posture, a joking remark, or a more intense gaze, reveals more than words ever could. He wants to be the one making you smile, the one holding your attention. If another man begins to do that, he feels the threat immediately and instinctively steps up his game. He's not just watching you, he's watching how others interact with you. And he's silently drawing a line in the sand without ever needing to say a word.